After the lesser gods rebelled against the great gods, Enki, god of waters, fertility, and wisdom, together with the mother goddess Ninmah created the first human beings. In this way, giving a solution to the great exploitation that the lesser gods received, they also formed from the earth thousands of humans to forge the earth, keep creation alive, and serve the gods. In the beginning, humans were too clumsy, mere wild beasts. Their behavior was grotesque and without reasoning, which greatly hindered the tasks that the gods entrusted to humans. Many died devoured by large beasts and drowned in the restless waters. Many lesser gods guided the primitive beings as far as they could. However, in the pantheon of the great gods, it was considered unworthy of a god to stand by the side of inferior beings, who were no more than servants. Nevertheless, they had to look for an early solution so that the new inhabitants of the earth would learn everything to survive and maintain the creation. The great god Enki had gathered all the gods, but no one gave an answer that would satisfy the god. So sitting on his throne, he thought about how to accommodate humanity to be more thoughtful and less savage. So Enki asked for advice, but not even his royal advisors knew how to answer until an idea revolutionized his mind, and he decided to create privileged men to give them the knowledge of many arts so that they could be the instructors and guides of humanity. So Enki descended to his abode, which was located in the deepest of the waters, the Apsu, and there, together with his consort Damkina, mother goddess, he created 7 wise men, 7 spirits of wisdom that would deliver to men the knowledge, culture, and civilization, until turning it into great cities and temples that would take care of the creation. From the deep abyss of the waters of the Apsu emerged powerful learned beings, children of Enki and Damkina, demigods who would become advisors and wise men of humanity. It is said that they were non-human creatures, since they presented very peculiar physical characteristics, even a little creepy, because they were half human and half fish. Enki raised his voice and told the 7 wise spirits to go up to earth and deliver the knowledge of heaven to the inhabitants, to take care, and teach them to take care of creation. So, from that time Enki gave a bath of wisdom to the 7 wise men so that all the knowledge and all the secrets of the gods would be revealed, and he named them one by one: Wana, Uanejiga, and Meduga, and Megalama, and Mebulaga, and Enlilda, and Utuabzu. And he called them the Apkallu, who was later known as the Apkallu. The Apkallu, grateful to the god Enki, from that moment became the priests of the god and emerged to the surface to fulfill the designs of the gods in the heavens and the earth. So, the Apkallu rose to the surface, and as they came out of the waters, bubbling whirlpools moved the waters. With fear, the humans approached to see what was the reason for the waters to be so restless. At first, they thought they were monsters of the Apsu until they came out walking. Their whole body was that of a fish, and under the fish's head, they had another head and feet similar to those of a man. Amazed and filled with fear, many fled, for they were unknown creatures. However, the Apkallu began to speak reassuringly to the crowd. "We have come to teach you the things of heaven. The great god Enki has sent us as your protectors, counselors, and educators," said one of the Apkallu. Thus, full of happiness, they received the 7 wise men, keeping reverence, and toasting what they had at hand. But the Apkallu could not take food from the earth, for they had been forbidden by the gods. Besides, they were sent by their father to teach the sciences of creation. And it was there that they presented themselves to the humans, as divine beings of the Apsu, and thus began to examine men to lead them on the path of wisdom. Each Apkallu chose a leader, even though they were leaders and kings at the beginning, and they taught them how to control, reign, and build their kingdom by taking advantage of the land and its riches. Thus, the Apkallu spent their days with the humans, teaching them about writing, medicine, magic, agriculture, and social and craft subjects, until they turned them into civilized and educated men. In the daytime they spent together with the men, from the first rays of the sun, without tasting any food, without drinking anything, just observing and guiding. But as soon as the sun went down and night was falling, all the wise men returned to the waters and plunged into the abyss of the Apsu, to spend the nights in the water. For years, the Apkallu continued to reveal the secrets of heaven to humans, teaching them all kinds of sciences and techniques, such as temple building, jurisprudence, and geometry. The powerful demigods taught men so many things that they even thought they would never describe anything new, for the Apkallu had absolute knowledge of the universe. They built colossal temples and great cities, but without leaving aside the god Enki who watched over them from his abode. Over the years the teachings of the Apkallu were considered sacred because, from the temples destined to Enki, they imparted knowledge and taught humans to maintain the plans of the gods who had built for the creation. Generations passed and society became more and more civilized, and life on earth became more and more comfortable and rich. The successor kings of the sages were blessed with an Apkallu, and all revered them, and said with a loud voice, "They are 7 sons of the deep. They have purified the waters. They have serenaded them and have made them crystalline, just as in the beginning their father Enki and their mother Damkina. They are pure, wise, and clear, and have given us the knowledge of the world." The 7 Apkallu began to lead the world and were worshipped by all the generations that had them as sages. And with time they managed to found 7 powerful cities: Eridu, Uar, Nippur, Kullub, Kish, Las Gash, and Surapak, cities that were attributed to each one of the Apkallu. Since it was said that each king was accompanied by an Apkallu that helped him to govern his kingdom, turning it into a powerful and unbreakable empire. Thus, they were naming the spirits for their exploits, and described them by saying in the cities, Unejiga, endowed with extensive knowledge and good luck; and Meduga, the guide of men to a good destiny; and Megalama, guardian of the home; and Mebulaga, the one who takes care of nature; and Enlilda, the magician of the city of Eridu; Utabzu, the one who ascended to heaven. The 7 Apkallu were divine beings who helped humanity at the beginning of creation. They provided all the knowledge of the heavens for thousands of years. But as they lived with humans, their desire to stay on earth increased. Many even broke the divine laws of Enki and tasted the forbidden fruit of the earth. Many others, on the other hand, united with the women of men and begot children, half human and half Apkallu, infuriating the great gods, especially Enki and Damkina, for they were their creators, and they felt humiliated. Years later, after great conflicts with the gods and men, mankind suffered a great catastrophe, as the god Enlil unleashed a devastating flood that wiped out everything in creation. However, Enki helped a wise mortal man and his wife to repopulate the earth, believing that they were the only ones who survived the great flood. But several Apkallu returned to earth, and with them, their wives and their descendants, after thousands of years continued in the creation, revealing the secrets of the gods. Unfortunately, a powerful god came to rule the world, the god Marduk, son of Enki and Ninhursag. Marduk was sent by Enki and took the power of creation after the great flood. He took absolute power in those days. So he got tired of the wise men sent by his father, who ended up banishing them from the earth, sending them back to the Apsu, where it is said they will remain for all eternity. There is an ancient story that tells the story of one of the most recognized and revered Abdul in Mesopotamian culture. This would be known as Unejiga, Oannes, or Adapa. Adapa was a mortal demigod, created by Enki. He reigned over humans and established the great and powerful city of Eridu, because, like the other Abdul, Unejiga was endowed with all the qualities of the gods, except for immortality. Adapa loved to go out in his boat to fish, and one day, like every day, he went out to fish in the calm waters of the sea, a place where he was accustomed to go out. Unejiga had fished too much, just as he did when he was sailing in the sea, until a big blow made him fall into the waters. A big wind overturned his boat, and his boat was destroyed, losing all the fish. This was the south wind. It had interrupted Adapa's tranquility. It had sunk his beloved boat, and the worst thing was that it had pushed the Agbal into the turbulent waters, where the home of the most furious fish of the sea was. Unejiga, too furious, came out of the water, took strength, and sought the south wind to take revenge, for the great harm it had caused him. As soon as he saw him, he grabbed him with great fury and broke his wings, leaving him wounded on the shore. Thus 6 days and 7 nights passed and the south wind could not fly. There was no breeze during that time, for Unejiga had hurt him. Even Anu got the news that Adapa had broken the wings of the south wind and that because of him there was no wind for 7 nights, so he immediately sent for Unejiga. Enki, uneasy because his son would appear before Anu, advised him so that he could ask for forgiveness from the gods, and not die in the encounter. Enki told Unejiga not to taste any food while he is with the gods, and taught him how he should address each one so that they would consider his punishment. Thus, at the entrance to the pantheon of the gods, Tammuz and Ningirsu received him, and as a show of respect and resignation spoke on his behalf to the great god Anu. For his show of respect and courage, Anu decided to forgive him for his fault, and offered him the sacred food of eternal life, for he was a great sage and demigod and deserved immortality. But following the advice of his father Enki, he did not eat or drink anything, rejecting eternal life and being sent back to earth.